And welcome back to another episode of Common Sense and the Devil's Advocate. I'm here once again with my wonderful co-host, Michael. Michael, how you doing
Hey,
tonight?
I'm good. How you doing, Joe?
I am doing well. I am doing well, Michael. You know, it's another wonderful day in a world full of shit, and I'm still standing upright in it. So I guess I'll keep shoveling away.
That's okay. My shit is getting shoveled with a bottle of Buffalo Trace bourbon.
Nice,
Virgin
nice. I'm very
lips have touched it, and it's pretty good. It's better than Jack, that's for sure.
yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm actually drinking a bottle of 10-year Whistle Pig rye
Ooh,
bourbon,
whistle pig.
which is I got this at a huge discount, and it's quite delicious, actually. I'm quite enjoying it. Don't think I would have paid full price for it, but I love for what I got. Bourbon, whiskey, alcohol. Oh my God. Is there a chance that's one of our topics today? You never know. Anything. So there's so much going on in the world today, Mike, that I really, really want to talk about, but I'm not going to go into it because I do not want to make a tirade from what we were going to talk about originally. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep us on topic today because I'm in the mood to really get into this one. I do not want to bullshit too much beforehand today. So
Bring it.
today, today, ladies and gentlemen, what we're gonna discussing is shit we think's overrated. What do we mean by that? Well, you're about to find out what we mean by that. But me and Mike are gonna give out topics toward each other, and we're gonna bring up topics that we think are very overrated. And the other one is gonna debate it, and we're gonna try and convince them that we are fucking wrong. I know the things that I have in my life that I see are overrated. I'm a very opinionated person with my beliefs. I know that most times in my life I'm wrong anyway. I refuse to admit it unless it's to my wife because, well, it doesn't make a difference, does it?
Sometimes taking the arm behind the back is the best way to flow.
Exactly, exactly. Just break it. I don't care. All right, all right. Before we go deep into that one, and we end up getting in trouble when our wives hear this. Let's move on. Okay, Michael, you ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna start off with what some would consider a softball. Me? I don't think so, because I know people that will shiv you for what I'm about to say. Yeah, you like that, huh? One thing I find to be so overrated is fucking Chick-fil-A. People will lose their mind about how good Chick-fil-A. I don't care if there's 8 billion people in line. The line moves quick. Well, yeah, it moves quick. You know why? Because it's the same shit over and over, and you only got like 4 fucking options. That's not what the
Oh,
Chick-fil-A my kid. He was like, I want Chick-fil-A. I want Chick-fil-A. And they always want it on a Sunday. Of course they want it on a Sunday. Well, good for you, because I'm glad they're closed. Let's start with that.
bummer, bummer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can take your Christian values and shim up your ball sack. All right. We're not going to Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A today because it's Sunday and it is the Lord's Day for happiness. Okay, which is why they're
Yes.
closed because even Jesus would not eat Chick-fil-A. He would go to Popeyes. All right, I fully believe that he would walk right across the top of the river to go to Popeyes. So here's the thing. Last time I went there, the bun it's all right, but it's usually soggy with that pickle juice. The chicken really doesn't have any special flavor to it. The pickle juice is really what saves it, and I don't even like pickles on my shit, but it's almost like the savior. The sandwich does nothing for me. You get their their chicken tenders, Jesus, nuggets, whatever the fuck they call them. They give you like 4 little tiny ones. They're more breading than anything. They're not that good. Their waffle fries, that's the only reason I'll stop into that place. But even anymore, they don't cook them enough to make them crispy for me, and I don't want thick, soggy waffle fries. It's like getting a roast beef sandwich when you want something that's nice and smooth. All right. Well, listen, that's my view. All right. I don't even like fast food chicken all that much, but I'm going to Popeyes. I went with my kid once and he's like, we're going to try Popeyes. That shit was delicious. That sandwich was amazing. Nah, I ain't going to eat one from, I've actually heard McDonald's is pretty good, but I don't know about that. I ain't going into McDonald's either. But this is my view. I know people that will eat Chick-fil-A every day of the week. They will go out of their way when they go to open a new one in the area. People act like it is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
But what if
Nope,
it is?
sorry, no. Oh, come on, tell me why. What's so good about it? Come on, tell me. Tell me what's so good about it, Mike.
Joe, I got nothing.
No, you
Cause
don't
I
like
agree.
Chick-fil-A. Oh, come on. When you find something that good, like I want to
I
help you here, but
totally
what am I gonna
agree with
say?
you.
You could You could go with that. They all taste the same. Well, that's the fast food mantra. If it doesn't taste the same, then that's a bad business, right? Come on.
Yeah, I have to counter this.
You
Man,
had a good one. Come on, you
yeah,
can
you
do
had
it.
a
You
good
got
one.
something in there. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. Gun to your head.
All right, let's just start with the impeccable service. You cannot tell me that you pull into a Chick-fil-A and you come out with almost everything, if not everything that you ordered. You've got friendly staff. They're always asking what he can do
Mm,
for you, having a great day. Now you go to Popeyes. Hey, you there? You there? You talking to me? Is this thing working? Who's there? What did you
yeah.
say? You want 3 chicken sandwiches? Sorry, we're out of fries.
I'm going to
Man, we're
Taco
gonna
Bell.
we're gonna close this bitch down, man. This son of a bitch wants a soda pop. Not all the time. I'm just saying that the demographic of employment at Chick-fil-A is a little bit more titillating and lovely than it is at most Popeye restaurants. Even though their food speaks for itself, I do agree. But if I know I'm gonna get a guaranteed meal, even though it's gonna take me an extra 15 minutes in line in my car to get that meal, I know I'm gonna at least
True.
get somewhat satisfied with the Chick-fil-A. That
I'll
said
give you that.
that said, I can't disagree with with your opinion of it being God's gift to chicken. I'm not I'm not feeling that, but where they win every time is the customer service. They have people out there in the winter, up here up here in the north,
Well, in the
parkas, rain, Popeyes, you're lucky if one person shows up to work.
Oh, did you ever see that Burger King where the lady got fired because no one showed up and she worked the whole place herself? They ended up commending her in the
Yeah.
end, but yeah, I was like this woman, you promote her, shit.
Yeah,
But
no
yeah,
no
you are
kidding.
right. Customer service of Chick-fil-A is like it's like the Publix of fast food, where they're overly friendly. You're afraid that they always got something, always got a
Mhm.
hidden agenda.
It's like, "What are you putting in that chicken?" You're putting Jesus juice in that chicken, that's what they're doing. It's the Jesus
Hey,
juice.
listen. I got nothing for religion. Freedom of religion. It's part of why we're here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't really need to hear about it. I don't need to hear about it as part of your business, which I do find as annoying as shit. But that's not why they're overrated. Not why they're overrated. I don't need to hear about any businesses' views on anything. Disney, don't tell me how you feel about LGBTQ. I just make me a Mickey Sunday and get me in Guardians of the Galaxy. All right.
Yep, Dole Whip me and then whip me.
Ooh, Dole Whip all the way, baby. Especially in August. It's good for about 30 seconds and then it's melted. All right.
But, yeah,
All right.
but
That's number one. What you got?
Chick-fil-A, they win with customer service. Alright.
Fine.
Mine, let's go food. Filet mignon, totally overrated. In my opinion, filet mignon is the dog shit of meat when it comes to
Whoa.
price
Okay.
per
Okay.
flavor. Now, is it good? Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm not gonna take it away. I'm not gonna do that. But if I can get a ribeye that is juicy and fatty and succulent and melting in my mouth for 12.99 a pound, or I can get a filet mignon that's got no fat. You have to sear the shit out of it to get any flavor, and the flavor itself is a very beefy, and it's like 25.99 a pound. Totally overrated. And why do you think they usually wrap those fuckers in bacon? Just saying. Just saying. If pork's gotta help out your steak, there's something wrong. Something wrong. Something wrong. Come on, yeah. What you got?
All right. Listen. Okay. One, I'm gonna go in reverse here. Okay. If pork's got to help out your steak, okay. Pork helps everything. I don't really care, good, bad, indifferent, ugly. You can wrap a bunch of deep fried worms in pork bacon, and people gonna eat it. All right.
What, a
You got pork fat. You
$50
got pork
steak
belly. You
joint?
got pork fat. Blah blah blah. You ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse?
Mhm.
A churrascaria. Or they come out. You know how many different things that they wrap in bacon?
Well, yeah.
Now, granted, usually there's like four different types of filet wrapped in bacon, and then there's chicken and a few things other than that. But come on, if you wrap in bacon, mm, sorry, no, that's just like taking another level. That's like saying I don't like jalapenos, but you wrap that in bacon. I'll eat that son of a bitch. I don't care if it's spicy. No, 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 no.
I would never put bacon on a ribeye, Joe. A New York strip, maybe, maybe.
Hold on,
I
I'm
would never
thinking, thinking.
put. I would put. I would put bacon on a pork chop. Now that just seems
Okay,
weird as
so
shit. But on a
hold
$50
on.
steak at a restaurant,
Okay, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay. Now, I've never seen bacon wrapped on a ribeye. You're right, or a flank steak, or any of that stuff. Now, but when you take a steak, right? You have a good steak. Let's not even say right now what part of the cow we're talking about. But
there you go.
what do you put on to enhance a steak when it comes down? There's this stuff I just sprinkle on mine a little bit because you should not need much for good meat, right? You should need very little.
Very little. Salt, pepper, garlic, rosemary,
Okay, all right, salt. Salt brings out the flavor of beef, right?
everything.
Yes, you know it's real salty? Real salty? I don't know what all it is a steak enhancer, baby. It's just telling that filet I love you even more.
It's just injecting its fatness into something that ain't got no flavor.
Well, they aren't the most flavorful. You are correct. I will admit with that. They are it's almost like a fast food type deal, right? Filet has a very consistent taste to it. But what it really comes down to is how you pair it, how you marinate it. With no one marinates a fucking filet, no matter how they're cooking it.
No,
They're gonna put a little bit of seasoning on, they're gonna throw it on the grill, and they're gonna cook it up. But the reason people go to filet, this is the reasoning, Michael, and this has to go do with it is the taste inequality of the human species. Okay? Nobody even knew taste inequality fucking existed till this moment. I never did until it just popped in my
timestamp
head.
this shit. You timestamp this.
That's right. I'm copywriting taste inequality. But what it is not the overbearing, wonderful flavor of that steak. What people like about it is they will pay that overprice, and unless they are a improper human being that cooks their steak well done and ruins it, whatever it is,
Mm,
you can cut your steak la dee dee da, so soft, tender, and I barely have to chew it because if it's a nice piece of filet that I paid too much for, it's going to almost melt in my mouth. I mean, Cruise Chris likes to bring you one out at whatever 1200 degrees, sizzling in butter, and of course, it's sizzling in butter is going to be good.
That'd
It
be
might as well
good.
throw bacon on that, right? It might as well be bacon and bacon grease and butter. But again,
Ooh,
it's super tender, and you eat it and you enjoy the fact that you're not getting that accidental piece of gristle where you're looking for the dog so you can throw it to a little fucker. Okay, you should not now. That being said, I have had a bad piece of filet before.
yes,
Yeah, I don't know if it's just, cut wrong. I'm cutting the wrong direction, just not cooked proper enough, but it is much rarer. You're paying that premium, but it is harder to screw it up.
agreed.
As long as you cook it, it's going to be a tender piece of meat. So, what I'm saying it is overrated because it will always give you that sweet, tender juiciness in your mouth. Now, the
No
problem with
comment.
that, the problem. Now, as you're saying, I will agree. The one problem with that is you're not getting that flavor. But like I say, this is America. Taste inequality. It's very similar to you live up in the Midwest, and then you go to someone's house that lives down in Louisiana, and you have dinner, and you just go look at it and go, "What is all this?" And your taste buds explode in your mouth because Mama up north ain't never cooked with any of those seasonings. Never even heard of them. Hell, when I grew up, we had scrambled eggs. You know what was in our scrambled eggs? Eggs. A little bit of butter in the pan. They scrambled them up. They put them on a plate. Maybe you put some ketchup on that, and you just ate them all up like that. I remember the
No
first
charge.
time my wife cooked. The first time my wife cooked scrambled eggs. She put in like salt, pepper, seasoning, all this stuff on there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god! I remember. Oh, many many years ago, my old best friend. My wife was cooking this scrambled eggs. He was staying at our house. He ate these scrambled eggs, and he looked at me. He goes, "I can't go home anymore." I'm like, "Why? What's wrong? What do you mean you can't go home?" And he looked at my wife and he goes, "My mother's eggs suck." I did not know it until this moment in time. I can never go back home and have eggs at my house again. He's like, now I got to go home and cook eggs and teach my mom what's up. I shit you not, that is a true story. I swear it was
Wow.
the funniest thing ever. But again, I know, and again, not going to go down this tirade too much because we have more topics to go into here. But again,
Mhm.
taste inequality. I want to stick with this one for a second. 'Cause I like
Or
growing up.
is it because it has a French name that people get all wet in the short trousers for it? Filet
I will have the
mignon.
filet.
I want the
It's,
filet
I guess
mignon.
it does feel good to say, I want the filet mignon. But
I always
what
just
people
say,
don't
"I'll take
realize
the
is,
filet."
well, or you want to go to the store and be like, I want to be a baller. Give me the bone-in ribeye. Why? Because we got the filet and I got the New York, right? It's the other side of New York. Yeah. Give me the best of
Mhm.
both worlds.
That's the
And you
porterhouse.
got a bone to suck on. Oh, porterhouse. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, it's porterhouse.
I'm not the cook. I'm not the cook in the house. I just eat it.
That's okay. It's
Uh,
okay.
but you knew what I meant. You know
Mhm.
where I was going with that, right? It's just like some people, like you give me that bone, I don't like chew everything off of that bone. My wife looks at me like I'm an animal because I'm not gnawing the bone down to the marrow. Okay, you're like, yeah, her and her dad, you ain't getting the good stuff. Eat that. Then okay. But again, growing up, barbecue. When barbecue was ever talked about up north, it usually meant either hamburgers and or hot dogs, or you take pieces of chicken, you throw them on the grill, you take some barbecue sauce and you just slather it on there while the shit's cooking, and it gets all burnt and crispy while it's out there, and then you eat it.
Back in the day, it was
When I
open
moved down,
pit.
right, is that 100%. When I moved down south, barbecue don't mean none of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
You know, that meant a smoker and like literal barbecue, cooking up slow cooking stuff and eating. You know, you want to talk about a good steak, picanha. You know, you wrap the fat on the outside of that bad boy, and you got to have like a fire hose with these fires up so much. That's a good steak right there. That is a good steak. All right, Michael. That was a good one. I think filet is very debatable. You're right. I think you can go either way with that one. You know,
Chick-fil-A,
now that we're
I agree with you with the whole overrated as far as its culinary mastery, but they win with their special customer service. I just
customer
you can't
service,
beat them.
all right. Yeah.
But I have to
Again,
give you they are overrated with flavor.
I'm not. I want to disagree, but now that I've given you all my reasonings why I think you're wrong, I will also say if I go to a steakhouse, filet is not what I'm looking for. If I order a filet when I'm out, it's because there's nothing else on the menu that looks appetizing. And if that's the case, you're not at a good restaurant. You
If
shouldn't
I
be
ever
eating
get a
there, you know?
filet, it's because it's paired with something else that I want, like lobster tail or something like that.
Yeah, surf and turf meal, and it's yeah,
Yeah,
crab and fillet, lobster and fillet. Then it's a special. They do it together for a reason, or maybe
right.
it's a fillet with a lump crab and some hollandaise or something that makes it. Yeah, then you can pair it, and like you said, because you get that, then you get the flavoring, you get the nice tenderness of the meat to eat. It all goes happy together. But yes, solo,
Mm,
I will give it to you. I will give you the overratedness of that. Okay, are you ready for another one? This is a fun one.
bring
And I hope, because I do know you have a screwed up mind like me. So there's a chance that I might throw you another curveball here, Mike.
alright.
I really hope I don't. I really hope I don't. Because I'm gonna ball up two names with this one because it'll make it a little bit easier, maybe for you. I would get shot by my own parents for this one. Are you ready?
Well, shit.
Seinfeld, Jerry fucking Seinfeld. And in the same manner for nowadays people, Nate Bargatze. Let me give you my entire opinion of Seinfeld. Now, again, businessman, yes, the guy's very rich. He's a savvy businessman, I guess, but his comedy sucks balls. It is
What are you
as
talking
dry as a
about?
can. It
I
is
don't
as dry
understand.
as a camel's fart in the Sahara. What do you mean? Why is my water wet? Well, fucker, because you poured out of a tap. It's water. What do you expect? You know why people think he's funny, Mike? Let me tell you why people think it's funny. Because his humor lacks substance. All you're gonna do is say something that makes people go, "Oh, that's funny." It's like grown up fart jokes. Okay, but for 8-year-olds, they're not good.
Hey, you
The
know
show
what?
Seinfeld, he was the. I'm talking now. He was the worst character on the show Seinfeld because he was the least funny one. And don't give him credit for it because guess what? Larry David created that motherfucker. Okay. Yes, it was his name. Yes, I've seen his stand-up, and I don't laugh at it. Again, it's just like the Seinfeld of today, Nate Bargatze. Oh my god, I'm telling you this joke, and you know what? It would be a very funny joke if I wasn't surprised that I was saying it myself. Same thing with Seinfeld. If you knew how to deliver something, shit, take everything he would say and put it in George's mouth, and you'd probably laugh your ass off because he had the delivery. No, I don't want dry humor.
I
Just
agree.
like I don't want a dry red wine because it tastes like balls. No, actually, I don't know what balls taste like. Sorry, it tastes disgusting. Okay,
Doot, 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 doot,
not
doot.
that that's a bad thing. Don't really care. Taste whatever you want to, like But regardless, it would not taste good, in my opinion. I'm sorry. It's just people love them. They think, "Have you watched this episode? What about that one?" Yeah, you know what? Every reference that you would have for one of his comedy bits is somebody else related to the comedy bit, not him. Comedians driving in fucking coffee in cars. You watch it for whoever is in the car with him. You don't watch it for Jerry Seinfeld himself. The man is super rich. Good for him. You made a lot of people somehow happy with your very boring dry humor. But I'm sorry. Give me Sam Kinison. Give me Richard Pryor. Give me give me Rodney Dangerfield any day of the week. I don't really care. I just went clean and dirty comedians all in the same. So much better. Larry the Cable Guy, just as funny, but he puts himself out there, but he has a whole storyline around it. Jeff Foxworthy, pretty damn boring to be honest with you, but he has a story with everything he tells. Jerry Seinfeld, why did I stub my toe when I kicked the wall? Really? Oh, give you Jesus Christ.
All right.
Go ahead.
You're not making this easy, Joe. Seinfeld was an icon
I'm
of his
sorry.
time. Seinfeld was an icon of his time. I can't remove that from him. He comes up with guys like, Marr and all those comedians where they had to do the clean comedy to make it to Carson.
All right.
I mean, you're right. Larry David did write the show, but without his name, which was already recognizable, nobody else exists. Without,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Larry David needed HBO to have his own show. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
yes. I mean, Larry David is a genius, and Seinfeld, although he is an acquired taste, he is kind of like before it was damned, like Cosby was back pre-rapes, allegedly.
No, I think he got convicted of that shit. I don't know if it's alleged, dude. I think that was pretty straight on.
Well, they let him back out because they whatever. Anyway, anywho, but no,
They needed to sell more pudding pops.
Seinfeld made it to the top because he was clean comedy. He was daily comedy of everybody that could he was able to tap into the daily grind of just silly stuff that people could acknowledge and relate to. Yeah, but I think it was more of the sign of the times. I think wait, I'm not gonna help my argument here because I was about to say something to accelerate your argument. Seinfeld would definitely be a different comedian today if he would have started today. I think that he knows what funny is because he knows a lot of funny people and respects funny. He respects a lot of funny comedians. I just don't know that he doesn't believe that he's not the funniest man in the room all.
You don't think he believes that, or you do think he believes that?
I think he believes that he's the funniest person in the room. I think he does hold a too high a standard of himself, only because of where the show did take him, but I
That's possible. I would see that. Yeah, I could see that.
do believe that his comedy for the time that it was in was what made him so great. Like I said, Cosby, Marr, all those careful comedians that played in this nice little eggshell of, "Oh, we don't wanna offend, we don't wanna use abrasive words." So,
So,
does he
okay,
have
good.
his spot in comedic history? Absolutely. Is he the greatest of all
It ain't
time?
top 10.
No. No,
Would you even put him in the top 10? No, right?
no.
Come on. No way. No way. No. Now, you know what I do wonder, as we're talking about that, which I'll live with your argument. I can accept it. Still overrated, but I can accept your arguments, and it is a very valid point. I see where you're saying. and it's making me think, which is a whole reason we do this pro and con. We want you to think and about things you've never thought about before, right? Or, sorry, think in ways you haven't thought about before. It can't always be one sided. I can't always say that I'm right 100% of the time. I have to learn from my own idiocracy. If you took his humor, okay, so I looked it up 1989 to 1998. Yeah, the 90s, interesting time. It almost shocks me that, which explains why it's always older people that loved him because the middle of his age, of his time frame was grunge, which was our age, and that's why maybe that's why I just couldn't get it. But if you were to take him and move Seinfeld into 2023 and above, because if you do think about it, he definitely had issues with people all the time on his show, which
Oh,
most
absolutely.
of his show was about people annoying him in ways that, someone with, with the woman with feet are too big or hands are too big, or, stuff like that.
Now watching
What would today's culture think of that? The people that rewatch that shows are older people, not, like a 14-year, 15-year-old kid. When they watch him, like, oh my God, can you believe that they just said that about that person? Or would they be like, "That's so funny. Don't tell anybody I said that."
No, they would definitely call it a boomer comedian if he was putting the same stuff out today. Yeah, he would be a boomer's comedian if you were to you know squish it into a box.
So, I mean,
Today,
I wanna say
yeah, when you get the comedians today that are going against the grain of generational attacks and LGBTQ and all this other stuff and the politics of today, I don't even think that he would have the cojones to dip his finger into the political realm. Like,
nah,
say,
you're
Bill,
probably right. Yeah, I don't think so.
so I don't know where he would be. I don't know where he would set his comedy today. I really don't know. I don't even know if it would
See, but
exist
'cause
other than like the local comedy clubs.
right? It would be, yeah. Again, well, again, he'd be the Nate Bargatze of nowadays, if you know who that is,
Yeah,
which, you should, so my people down here know, but again, it's just dry humor like that. Oh, yeah, he tells great stories about his life, but the way it's explained just puts me to sleep. But that's another one. Again, you could take different things out of different time frames and move them around, and you gotta wonder, how well would they do? You could take old school Eddie, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison, George Carlin, and I wanna say that if you open them up right now, that the world would lose their mind and they would not get anywhere. But I totally disagree.
I
Totally
totally
disagree because
disagree.
if you just look at our political culture and how lefty righty we are,
Hmm.
without even saying lefty right, but how polarized we are in certain things, it
Oh
would
yeah,
be what would happen is, back in the day, those guys, everyone, they were the kings. They were superstars. They were rock stars. Like Eddie Murphy used to say, he was so popular. I don't know if you've seen Eddie Murphy. Well, I'm walking down the street. I got so much pussy here just falling out of my steps. Can't fucking go step on my pussy. Everybody loves me. And he was amazing. He was beyond rock star. Even Andrew Dice Clay, who ended up
yeah,
falling apart, but the raunchiest humor you could think of, he was selling out stadiums. That would still go. That would still go nowadays. But the difference nowadays would be like when Eminem first came out and got popular, is you would also have just as many people on the other side of the aisle saying, "Ban, ban, burn, bad."
absolutely.
That's the big difference. Back then, it was praise these people for their crazy humor and ingenuity, and nowadays it would be half and half. I love you. You make me, piss myself with laughter, and then there's I have to tie you to a stake and burn you.
Yeah, because back
Say the
back
witch
in the
hunt. We got to bring
'70s
it
and
back.
'80s, if you didn't like something, you just didn't listen to it. You didn't
You didn't
comment
give a
on
shit.
it,
You moved on.
right? Everybody's
Yeah,
politics was their own business. Everybody's
yeah,
feelings
yeah.
was their
Tree
own
hugging
business.
hippies.
Yeah,
Yes.
they excelled, but, this is what it is.
Yeah, so that's a fun one though. But yeah, that's an interesting way of picking a thing up and moving it from one time frame to another, and how would they adapt? And again, these are also all these guys are talking about are geniuses, so they would adapt based on you know where the time is. But all right, that was my number two.
Oh, man, I have a toss-up.
Give me
I
something.
think
Give me something
I
that
think
I love because I want to hate you. You say Guns N' Roses.
No, 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 no. I'm not gonna pick anything that's too obvious for you. Because I honestly want to firmly believe that these things are really overrated, and I think I'm gonna go
Hmm.
with family traditions for the sake of keeping them alive.
Okay. All right. All right. Now give me
For
an example.
instance
Give me one.
a family I used to hang out with that, people have passed away over time, but every Christmas they would get these little poppers with crowns and stuff they do in Europe for the holidays, and they made
Okay.
it their tradition every year that's just what they did. And I'm like, why? Everybody meeting up on the same day at the same house every year, just because that's just what we always did. Now, see, I'll take your Thanksgivings, for instance. They're not turkey.
What do you mean? How do you know this? Who told you this? Believe you just, dude, you're using my. You can't use my own data, bastard.
So it's not so much, turkey's just a national tradition, but I'm talking about those small family traditions that, like, my wife tried to start one up when we first got getting married, that, like, every anniversary we gave each other an ornament to hang on the tree. Well, one year I obviously didn't think much of it and I didn't get one. Well, I still hear about it to this day. So,
So on Christmas or on your actual like wedding anniversary?
on our wedding anniversary, to then hang on the
Okay.
tree for
Okay. Okay.
Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
But it's like she still hangs on to that. Why? Why is that so important? Why is it the fact that I don't bake my great great grandmother's cookies every single Christmas? Is
The noodles.
Well, those I bake like every year, but I actually enjoy those because I really like eating them.
Wait. 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 Michael, are you telling me that's like your tradition?
No, no, that is a family recipe. But those are now let me be specific. Just for the sake of keeping them alive. That means even if you don't like to do them, like, okay, well, it's Christmas Eve. We're all gonna go meet over at Nana's house because that's just what
Mm.
we do. And we're gonna visit with Uncle Barney because that's just what we do. And Aunt Edna's gonna pass out on the couch and puke on herself because that's just what we do. And then Aunt
Ew.
Doris and Aunt Mary are gonna get in a pissed off match over wrapping paper because this is just what we do. That's the kind of shit I'm
Got
talking about. Things
you. I
like
got you.
my grandparents used to always have us decorate the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve. Why? Why?
So
Why
you can
you
look at it
only enjoy that
for 48 hours,
48 hours and then it's gone by?
maybe.
What? It's like somebody at my grandmother asked me, "Do you guys do that anymore?" I went, "Nobody does that shit." Because it used to be the family tradition that Santa Claus brought the damn decorations for the damn tree. Some people wouldn't even put the tree up until Christmas Eve night. So the kids would go to bed, no tree, wake up with a tree. Who wants to do all that damn work in one night?
That's some crazy parents. Holy shit, that's impressive. Wow. Wow. So what
That
you're
used to
telling
be
me,
the
Michael,
tradition in early America. It's things like some people still do that stuff, even though it binds their souls to hell. Like, I don't want to do this, but this is tradition. Way overrated.
what you're telling
Let
me,
them go.
okay, you're telling me
Mm,
I don't want to do things that remind me of family. That's why people do it. Traditions,
some
Mike,
of them.
we do it, we do it because there's this small part in our body that hurts because we miss time, we miss a person. I don't want to say a thing because that just sounds idiotic, but that's what I'm saying. That's why you have those traditions because it reminds you of something that you don't have anymore. Now, granted, that's not always the case because sometimes you're doing it with the person that created it or whatever.
Mhm.
But I mean, we have a tradition that whenever we go on vacation, we get a magnet from wherever we've gone. Back beer fridge is just covered in magnets from all over the world. We used to have the tradition of actually picking up. We only do this one if it's a vacation that we actually enjoy. something we want to remember. The magnets, we're idiots. We get a magnet from it anywhere we go. We do.
Not
We pretty
idiotic at
much do.
all, because you enjoy doing it.
No, honestly, it has become one of those things where if I almost feel like if we don't get one, we failed. So when we're out, it'll be like day two in, it'll be like, I got to look at magnets just in case we don't find a good one. Do we need one? No, we don't need one. Do not need that fucking magnet, but we get it anyway. And then you start getting it on that. God, make sure it's a good magnet. Because if I'm gonna have put this magnet in my house, I want to at least look cool. You might have the worst vacation ever, but you got that tradition. You got that magnet, baby. Look at this magnet. It looked like someone get eaten by a shark in that magnet. Did someone get eaten by a shark on your trip? No. Didn't even see the water. No, we didn't. Actually, everybody had the flu for 3 weeks straight, but we got a cool shark magnet. That's right, because that's a tradition. A tradition. We're never going to forget the time that we almost died of bad water. Shark magnet. We used to do the thing where we used to do, I'm trying to say here, we used to get Christmas ornaments. And that would be, we still do on occasion, but that, I don't think I would call that a tradition. That's one of those, we're having a great vacation. And it's one that, you want to make sure you really enjoyed it. So you're like, this is
Like
the
the
kind of thing you
magnet
want to put on the tree.
it's like the magnet tradition putting some stank on.
Well, yeah, but you also only do it when the moment's right. You don't do it for every trip. You do it when you're like, "Man, we're having a great time," and then it's gotta also be something that calls to me, or my wife. You'll just see an ornament, and you'll be like, "That's cool. That would look good on my tree," even though it's just gonna be blended in with all the other stuff the kids are gonna throw on there anyway, because there's never order to it. But it might be one of those things that you pull out and it actually reminds you of that trip. Again, tradition. It brings up a memory from something in the past. I've got,
Even if it irritates the shit out of you,
but you don't forget it. But you don't forget it. Even if it irritates the shit out of you, Michael, because that irritation is that memory that you're never gonna lose. It's like, have you ever seen the movie Coco?
yes,
Yes, what do they do? Day of the Dead. That is where they all go out and they put up family pictures of their mi familia. And they
Los
always said in
Muertes
the
or something like that.
yes, Dia de los Muertos.
De los Muertes.
And what they're saying in the afterlife is if somebody isn't there to remember them, they fade away. Well, that's what traditions are, is your way of remembering something in your past that you don't ever want to fade away.
Arguing that sadness, Joe. That's
Yeah.
getting sad,
If you
bro.
lose, you lose if you lose, okay, I'm gonna make it really sad for you. Do you have any French bulldog ornaments on that tree? Okay, but you got stuff.
I
Okay, I can't
have
think of good tradition. But there are things out there that make you think about your puppies you've had over the years that you love more than anything in the world.
I have photos on my phone that I look at every day.
Okay, bad one for tradition. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. But there are things that you do. There are things that you do with your son. You play video games with him. Are you still do stuff with your little boy, and he's gonna be out of the house in a few years and gone.
Mhm.
And if he moves away somewhere, there's gonna be a day where you're gonna be like, "Yo, Dom, you wanna?" We can't do that together anymore. That was a fun tradition.
Yeah, but
You wanna?
I'm also of the mind that if it wasn't a fun tradition, do you still wanna do this shit? And if he says, "Not really, dad," I'm not gonna make him do it. I'm not. I'll be like, "You know what? I loved it, but if you're not enjoying this, then we'll find a different thing to do."
You would
I'm just
start a
simply
new
saying,
tradition. You would
I'm just
start a new tradition.
yes, but it was be one that I enjoyed.
Ooh.
The specific thing in there was doing traditions just to do them because we feel we have to, even though we despise doing them. If my great great grandmother had brought over a shitty cookie recipe from Hungary, Germany, way, way back years ago, I would not make that fucking cookie. I would not. I'm like,
What
this
if
cookie
someone else enjoyed it?
sucks.
What if you made it and it made someone else's day?
I would do it for somebody that I loved enough to do it for. That's the difference.
Okay.
If I knew
Okay.
that tradition would fulfill their heart, I would still grumble. I'd still be like, "No shit." What's the one that my grandmother makes that I still have yet to tackle, and I'm not interested at all? It's called vanilla pretzels. They're a good
Sounds
cookie.
dangerous. Sounds
Vanilla
painful. Hard to
pretzels,
make. I mean,
they are a wonderful cookie. They're filled with jam. It's 2, like, shortbread cookies with, like,
mm,
egg wash and, like, walnuts. It's a long recipe. It's a lot of work, and I don't love them enough to make them. No. Nope.
okay. Okay. Well, my argument for you is going to be there is nothing wrong, okay, with continuing a tradition as long as it makes somebody happy. I'm going to give you that caveat, okay? Somebody, it might not be you. You might, there's someone, I feel like there's always someone who doesn't want to go to church. You know what? We go home, whenever we go home for Christmas Eve, my family has to go to Christmas Eve mass. You know what?
Eh.
Half of my family is like, no, no. I'm gonna be like, I'm a nihilist. I'm sorry, I believe in nothing. I can't do this. It doesn't make a difference. It does not matter what my beliefs are, Michael.
You're right.
I put my good foot forward and I go there for my mommy because
You're
it
right,
makes her happy.
and I would
Okay.
do the same
And
thing.
whether I believe in it or not. And that's just one example. It could be a lot of different things. If it's going out and, making yellow snowballs and having a pea snowball fight, if it makes grandpa happy, I hit him with a pisser. I don't know. Sounds disgusting, but hey, there's people out there that got weird ass traditions, right? But again,
So there is a tradition in my wife's side of the family where they make these things called, and you'll know them, they look like snowflake cookies. They're called petzels. They're made with anise.
oh yes, 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 yes. I don't like them.
They're an okay cookie. It's not like the star of the cookie tray. It's more of like a garnish of the cookie tray. They're not bad.
You eat if that's all that's left over.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah, there's some
okay, I
strong
guess we
flavor.
could. Yeah, but it's tradition, so they make them every year. I'm like, you guys make way too many, but it's
Oh
tradition.
yeah.
Do you eat them?
I'm not going
No,
there.
I don't eat them. Then why
No,
are
no.
you making them? Why are you making them?
Yeah,
That's my
no, you're
point.
right. Yeah, there are a lot of those out there. Yeah, the tradition just for the sake of tradition is bullshit. You're right. Tradition for the sake of it enlightening somebody's heart and making them happy, go for it. Keep on keeping on. And when that person is not part of it anymore, you can even just lie to them and say you did it. Flush it.
Flush, flush.
Flush it. Yes. All right. I think that's when we can both agree on it different ways. All right. I like that. I like that. I like that. All right, Michael. All right. We'll come up on 45 minutes. I got two. I still got two. I don't know which one to go with. I don't know if I can mash them together or keep going.
I'm
One
gonna go one
one
or the
goes
other.
along this. One's gonna go down the side. How about I'll give you two and I'll let you pick which one you feel like
All right,
arguing for. All right, I'm gonna give them to you. You ready?
go for it. Is what?
The Dave Matthews Band. People act
Who
like
are
Dave Matthews
they?
Band is amazing.
Who
You
who
lying
who
sack of shit.
who is? What's your other option?
Oh, the other
I'm
one?
just wondering what you're thinking.
For Mustang, baby. There's what's that. I'm gonna go with that real quick. My view on Dave Matthews. Do you know what I want to listen to Dave Matthews? When I'm sitting in my garage with a hose in my exhaust pipe. That's the kind of stuff you listen to when you're ready to die. He's got like two upbeat songs, and then he's got like 6,000 other songs that all sound the exact same.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude, but I put you in the same, I would rather listen to Yine at this point in time because it's every time it comes on the radio, I'm like, "Ooh,
Hey,
same shit again.
hey, Yanni's a
Same dude again.
composer, man.
Whatever." I said I would rather listen to Yanni. Okay. So okay. You don't like
I'm
that
glad.
one. You're gonna
You know
pretend you
what?
don't know who he is.
No, 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 no. We'll skip over Dave Matthews. What was the other one?
Let's go to Ford Mustang.
Ford Mustang. Nah, 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 nah,
MST.
nah. Overrated. No, that is definitely an arguable thing there. So I've driven Fox bodies. I've driven V6s. I've driven GTV8s. Driven 5.0s. I've driven stick shift
Okay.
automatics. The comfort, the power that you get from a stock engine for the price of what it is. Now, of course, I do have to say that visually they are an acquired taste, but
Those
power-wise,
ones were
per
sexy as hell.
so power-wise, per dollar spent, I really don't think you could find a better deal. Per dollar spent, per horsepower and comfort
Okay, listen.
with amenities,
Comfort.
all robbed in one. I'm talking for just the
Are you
driver and
nuts?
the passenger. That's
Are you blind?
backseaters don't count.
No. Last time I got in one, I looked on. Last time we got in one, we rented it. It was a convertible. We were down in Miami. We're like, yeah, we're going down a convertible around here, which we used to
Why?
live in the fucking city. So why did we care? I don't know. But regardless, I got in it and I looked at my wife and said, I'm pretty sure our 3-year-old's little Tykes car looks nicer on the inside of it than this thing does. It's a bland, boring, plastic, crappy inside.
You're not wrong.
Sorry, it's like it is like one step above looking inside a Tesla. Tesla's got one screen. Okay, what's a Ford got? A Ford's got some dials and an ugly ass screen. I don't know what the newest ones look like. Maybe they're a little bit nicer,
They're
but
a
I'm
lot
sorry.
nicer.
No, they don't do shit for me. And here's the biggest problem I have with them is 99.99999% of the people that you see driving them are not car people. There are people that are either think they look cool in a Mustang. They're going to drive like an idiot because they don't know how to drive. They have the front wheel drive girly Mustang, which has no balls. It's cheap. It's cute. It's a little bit noisy, but I'm sorry, if that thing don't have a Cobra or a Shelby on it, or isn't an older 80s 5.0, I want to hear that thing rumble. It's a baby girly man bun bitch car. Okay. I'm sorry. That's my view on it. If you're a car dude or a car chick and you want power under that thing and you want to run it out,
But
rear
you're gonna
wheel
do it.
drive, doing donuts. No, because you know what? Because I grew up in the North. And you remember, Michael, back when we were kids, we used to actually get real snow.
Oh yeah.
Remember when we used to actually get snow?
Snow, snow.
And you would go out in there, and you would go out and you would have fun driving your car in the snow. Excuse me, I just got excited with myself. You would get out there, driving your car, let me lose control, let me gain control, let me have some fun. But when you got on the highway and you could barely see, they can't keep up with plowing those roads. You paid attention to what you're doing. You made sure you weren't in a ditch because you know it's going to be cold and you have to find a way to call somebody, which means trudging through the snow to get to a payphone because cell phones didn't exist back then. Who did you see flying down the road? And then often in a ditch 3 miles later, the asshole in the Mustang. Always, always, dude. It's just like Ohio, he's winner equals asshole in a Mustang in a ditch.
One of
I'm
those
sorry.
dipshits in an
And
'85 Cougar.
oh, yes, exactly. It's the same. Then I moved down south. What do you see? You pull up next to some guy. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? Oh, dude, give me a. All right. Unless again, now I met a guy who had an old 5.0 and he even added on to the stock of that. It was the old fastback. He had he had 5 point, you know, um racing harness in that thing. And he's like, "You gotta drive this." This is back when I had hey, I'll admit it, I had an old rice burner, it's a Subaru STI.
I remember
Lots of
that car.
power off it. That baby had some real power. But I took my we're like, "Let's swap cars. Let's drive around. Let's swap bitches. Let's see." He's like, let me see what this rice burner can do." I'm like, "Let me see what your noisy 5.0 can do." You know what? We both had a blast driving the cars. I love the fact that I could peel out and lose control in that thing. Lot of power in the ass, because that's the beauty of a good rear-wheel drive car.
Oh
Camaro
yeah.
sexier, but whatever. Okay. He got in mine. That thing was all-wheel drive. He's like, "I can't lose control on this thing." He goes, "And it just shoots me through the back of my seat because it's so powerful." But the difference is you pull the two right up to each other. I sue me.
Not to mention a stock STI and a stock Mustang STI would beat it off the punch right off the bat.
Oh yeah, well, stock, yeah, stock, yeah. I'm very used to race Porsches down there because yeah, I'm not gonna win them in the long run, but off the line, that's four. That thing was 300 pounds of torque the second you got in it, and you could take it to the sky was a limit. That beauty, it was so much fun.
I can beat Pete
But anyway, go ahead.
Corvettes off the line with my
So
Toyota.
So you think it's all beautiful, huh? You don't think they're overrated. They don't think you don't see a guy in the road that's usually driving like a jack off, and he's what's he usually driving? A Ram truck, a Ford
Oh,
Mustang, or a Lexus. It's usually one of those
up
three
up
cars.
here, it's a Ram truck, a Chevy truck. Usually they have lifts on them with big tires, or the little Subi guys.
Yeah, we are assholes. I admit it. I'm not one anymore, but
Well, if you're still in love with the brand, you're still in love with the brand. It is what it is. But so
well, see,
Mustang is not only they're gonna struggle. And now the new dark horse is the interior is all like spaceship. It's cool. I haven't been in one of the brand new ones, but I remember the one my uncle had back in '05 when they first came out with the new body. He had a GT, and then my in-laws got a V6 version, same '06, but they had
mhm.
racing stripes and it went. The V6 still had plenty of power. That GT, dude, I was like hitting 60 miles per hour in second gear, and I was floored. That was the first fast car that I ever drove. So maybe I'm a little biased because my first real fast car experience happened in the Ford GT Mustang. But that said, I mean, hindsight, my electric car now is like twice as fast as that damn thing was.
Oh, we ain't going there.
Off
No,
the
we're
line,
not gonna. We're
off
gonna.
the line.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but no, electric. We'll pull that. I'm not getting in that debate. We can talk that one
No,
another
no,
day.
no. There's no
There's a
debate there.
lot you can talk about there. There's a lot to talk about with electric cars, actually, a lot. But here's the other thing. I'm gonna up the ante one more step before I give you back the microphone, okay? And this I know some people this will really piss off. I always said, unless it was like a '67 Mustang, there's no way I would ever even consider test driving one or buying one. So again, like I said, I already gave you my reasons. I think they're way overrated, but whatever. But you know what? I like the Mach-E. It doesn't look like a Mustang. I think it's a sexy little electric car. You black that bitch out. You put some nice tint
Yeah,
on that.
yeah.
Hell, rip the emblem off, then you don't even know it's a Ford or a Mustang. That thing could be a lot of fun.
I'll
I
be
like
honest,
them. I don't know what the inside's like. I don't know. I'm guessing because it's, electric, it's going to be torquey as hell and fast.
it
But I
actually has
kind
a
of like
big
it.
ass screen like the Tesla, to be
I
honest.
think it's cute.
So the Mach-E, I've actually looked into because I have like 2.5 more years left on my lease with this electric Toyota.
Hmm.
So right now I'm on the debate of do I get back into a 4Runner or do I want to stay electric? I don't know. I don't know. I've got 2.5 years to figure it out. But I
A
definitely
lot
been
will
looking
change
at
in
the
2 years.
Mach-E's. But all I know is that kind of power, I'm going to get myself in trouble. So when you go in on my low end electric car, me going 0 to 60 in 4.5, or I'm sorry, 5.4 seconds in that heavy of a
Yeah,
car.
yeah. Now cut that in half or more.
And yeah, and if I get something more powerful that is around the same price break, around 50 grand, yeah, I'm gonna get myself in some trouble. And that's the same reason why I'm like, yeah, like Hellcats and Demons are nice, but I like not having tickets on my record.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that
That's why I got rid of my Subaru when I did. Yeah, moved north where I was driving the back roads again, and I was having way too much fun, and I had to
yeah.
go. But yeah, I will say it. I think the Mach-E is a sexy little car, and I like it. I'm sorry.
And
I would buy
after
it
they've worked
over
out
a
the bugs,
regular.
I have to agree with you on that
Might be
one.
interested.
Sorry, Joe, I have to agree with you. I'm gonna break precedent. I agree with you. I'd go Mach-E over
Well,
Mustang any day.
you supported the old ones. I'm pretty sure 90% of the people out there would not even consider the Mach-E to be a Mustang anyway. It doesn't look like one.
They would flush me.
It just Dude, they threw the emblem on it. Okay, it's a cool ass little emblem. You know what? Not gonna go deeper into it. Just like in my opinion, the Bronco, cool ass emblem. New one's fucking fugly. I've seen some nice ones out there. There are some nice ones, but the Sport looks like a they brought back the fucking Kia.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Sport I don't like. I've seen a few nice ones, but I'm not going in there again. Cool ass emblem again. The Mustang. And again, Cobra, you can't beat the emblem. It's a friggin' Cobra. It looks dope. It looks evil. It looks mean. But yeah, man,
Well,
for that amount of money, there's a lot of other things that I would buy before I would even look at that.
used. Hell yeah.
So, Oh, now you're talking about, yeah. All right, what you got? One more. Yeah, one
All
more
right.
for us, Mike. You got one more?
You know what? I'm gonna bring up one that's a little touchy on both ends,
Ooh, I
and
love
I'm
it.
gonna say that
Anal
I
sex.
think, well,
Sorry. Did I interrupt you?
it's definitely not overrated.
Move on. Move on. We're not
But
going there tonight.
aligned with that,
Oh,
romance.
interesting.
Romance, Joe, is overrated. And I'm talking candlelight dinners, long walks on the beach, glasses of apple baking on a Sunday. Oh, couple shit. Overrated Sasquatch bullshit that was created by fucking women. I'm sorry I said it. I hate that shit. Most men do. I don't We only do it so we can get laid. Romance is overrated. Sorry, overrated. We both want respect, honesty, and understanding and some appreciation on both ends. A thank you, a you're awesome, a hug, some intimacy, touching, hugging, romance, too much work for so little payout. And what I mean by that, the energy put in is never the energy that has retracted from it. Too much thought has been put into too much romance over the years on the cost of trying to woo the other person on both sides that
Okay.
it has backfired too many times on both ends of the female and male spectrum, where one has anticipated this great anticipation of, if I do these great things, and it's so romantic, and and ooh, and then it never, 99% of the time, has ever come to fruition of what your expectations were in the beginning. Overrated, romance can hug it. Intimacy, not the same thing.
Okay. So now, before I can argue this too much, I need to break it into two different levels for you. Okay. So I need you to give me a little bit of parameters here.
Wiggle. Okay.
Romance in a new relationship or a very well established one? We're talking married with children or dating.
I'm gonna have to. Oh man.
But I'll give you this. You've already boinked uglies. Okay. So you're not trying to get it for the first time.
No,
Okay.
you're right.
So you
Yeah,
have,
I'm with you.
so you have, there is a, the sexual aspect of the relationship has already been breached. Okay. So
Correct.
but you're still in the, let's say, still the infancy of, of this relationship. That we haven't, you're not engaged. Okay. So how about that? So still dating, serious dating. We'll go that far, right? You're, monogamous dating. Okay. That's your one end of the spectrum. The other end is Al Bundy married with children. Where in this are we talking about romance is overrated? Oh, the whole kit and caboodle.
I would say overall. And it's only because it has been blown out to what the expectation is of the women, the men, instead of just getting back to basics of being a unit, being a couple, being intimate vocally, emotionally, physically. It has been overrated by the societal norms of like the candlelight dinner and the holding hands in the park. And yeah, it's nice, but necessary? No. I know of some couples in my life that I've heard them admit to me that their significant others still need specific holds, kisses, touches, massages before any intimacy can take place.
Interesting.
I'm saying
Wow. Annie.
that is who's got time for that shit?
Well, okay. If you're going to that level, you remove the spontaneity out of anything. You can't, yeah, you can't have any of that. Which, it's, I see those as two separate things. Actually, in some ways, but spontaneity is more, not necessarily intimate, because if you're both into whatever each other at that time, whatever's going on, it's romantic. So I still say it's kind of romantic, but it's not, like you said, it's not grandiose. It's not a huge gesture to show it. But
And I think
you see,
I'm
Mike,
more focused on the grandiose romance of it all. The storybook shit is what
yeah,
what
now
I'm referring to.
Valentine's Day every week type of deal, right? See, I have some issues with this one because I am a hopeless romantic.
I was.
I will admit it all the time, but two-way points, okay? It is two-way fault. You can only go so far with it. You're right. Candlelit dinners. But one, you can't even see what you're eating most of the time, and maybe that's good, but it shouldn't be. Um, but
What?
taking the effort to make that special meal for your spouse and and have it laid out, I think that's fun. Going the effort of occasionally, not saying constantly, because again, you're right, nobody has the effort for that. But it is nice, in my opinion, a good once a quarter, maybe a little bit more every once a month. I don't mind it. I would do it every other week if I could get away with it. But I'm talking about, you light candles in the bedroom, you turn on some nice music, you set the mood.
Mm,
Maybe you got a nice bath. Maybe you got a nice bath in the house and you draw a bath for your significant other. You wash their legs or whatever.
mm,
Everything's different, right? But again, you go around that line. So you're not going to do that every night. Even if you're nymphomaniacs and you're constantly going at it, no one got the time to go that far into it, right?
mhm.
But to do that every now and then, for me, when you have that, I want to say extended, that extra amount of romance that you put out there, it is your way of showing the other person just how much you love and appreciate them, how much you enjoy going out on it. That's like saying,
You suspect. In the end of that,
blah,
are
blah,
you
suspect your ass. That's like,
are you expecting sex at the end of this, Joseph?
I'm a male. I'm always expecting sex. It doesn't make a difference. That's like
But
saying,
to them, it does.
so it's like saying, so, well, of course,
You're
yes,
only
you are right.
doing
But
this
again,
you're only doing this because you wanna get laid.
but if I just want to get laid, I would not go through this deep of an effort. I do enjoy the payout at the end, but I enjoy everything leading up to that just as much as the final act itself.
Mm,
I
that's an
see it
interesting.
as a 50-50 split. Okay. Now, some people will only do A to get B. If I had it all laid out and I was ready to go, and she said, that A or wrong time of the month, I would still be like, "Well, I have everything laid up to give you a nice massage. I'm still gonna give you the massage." Okay? I'm not gonna go out that far along, have it all set up, and then be like, "Nope, whatever, sorry. If I ain't getting mine, then ain't no one getting theirs." That's not the point of it. I appreciate the act just as much as that, all right? So I will go that level. I see romance as still a necessity to keep the spark out there. But
But that said,
it should not be
I
necessary
I am
to
not
have a
talking
good relationship.
right, I'm not talking intimacy. So, intimacy is, like, I'll make sure Angela has, her favorite thing stocked in the refrigerator, and she'll come home with something for me. It doesn't have to be a special gift, just I know you like these, so here. It's the holding hands on the couch while watching a show. It's the, 6 to 60-second hug when she gets home or vice versa. That's intimacy. I'm talking about the societal Valentine's Day shit. The stuff that relationships have programmed each aesthetic to get involved with. Kind of like traditional romance, I guess is what I'm pulling it.
Oh, he's going back to hating tradition. He just hates traditions, people. He
I
hates all
think I do.
traditions.
I think I do. I think I do, Joe. I think I'm thinking about therapy on this. Well,
He's a
I'm gonna
he's a he's turned to he's a grumpy old man. You should go get a ice fishing
have
chalet and start fighting all out there.
Hey man,
Drink
I have an
beer and
uncle that
complain.
has given up traveling and bought adult toys for his wife's stocking one year. He's such a curmudgeon. I'm like, wow, dude, you just pretty much tossed it.
That's a that's an interesting one.
You won't
I don't think I
travel,
would have considered
and you put sex toys in her stocking.
just for
Right.
herself, right? Okay.
Mm,
Interesting. That's an interesting one. But
But yeah,
I'm sorry, Mike. I like romance. I would do Valentine's Day every month if I could get away with it. If my wife enjoyed it and embraced it. Okay? I would do it. Not every week. Definitely not every day. But would I do it once a month? It sure as shit would be more than tickle pink to plan out a romantic evening with my spouse once a month. Yes, I would be doing it to get laid, but that would only be the final end of the whole thing.
it would kind of
If
like
there
be
was,
the
even if, you
cherry
know
on the
what?
cake.
Even if there was no sex at the end of the road, I would still do it. Now, again, we're males. We are hardwired to procreate and go down that road. So for us, everything we do has some sort of agenda at the end.
Absolutely.
Even if you can, people are going to come out there and be like, that's not true. I don't believe in that bullshit. That is always in the back of your mind, one way or the other.
Excuse me,
You're not
ma'am.
going,
My wife came home and breathed today.
exactly. She's
It's a
warm,
reason.
but that's just the way that we are hardwired. We go through life in every manner. We do something for something. There's always an A and there's always a B. You don't do something for literally no reason at all. You might do hardcore drugs. Why do you do them? To get high. You don't do them just because they're sitting there and they're going to give you no outcome whatsoever. There is always a reason that you do something. You might be doing it because you want someone to feel better. You want them to to appreciate everything you're doing for them. And yeah, probably as a dude. And there are a lot of women out there that are the same way. They're doing it because in the back of their mind, they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get some in the end."
Whereas our wisdom has shown, we're like, maybe I'll get some in the end.
Again, there is never just hey, there are only guarantees of taxes and death, Michael. Taxes and death, the
Yeah,
only guarantees in this world.
yeah.
But
Taxes are
again,
more guaranteed.
you wouldn't do any of these things for someone you didn't love and enjoy. Even if the end means is something that you want it because of a reason. And the reason is that person that you're doing this for is somebody that you're infatuated with in one way or another. I'm not going to make this huge romantic gesture for someone I'm not attracted to, for someone who doesn't make me happy, for somebody who doesn't make me feel good. I'm going out of my way and doing this large gesture because this person makes me feel this other way, which makes me want to go do all this. Because if you're just trying to get laid in the end, there's a lot of ways out there to do that.
Joe, I think I might just be a little, what's that? Traumatized. Is that the word?
Oh, I thought you were going to say jealous that I'm not yours.
Well, I mean, there's always that.
Yeah, it's not a little bit of that.
Tell your
It's not a
hussy
little bit of
wife
that.
to divorce you.
Honey, I'm gonna go for a bald, hairy-faced man who won't leave the northern cold. Nope, sorry. I'm staying where I'm staying, brother.
It's too
Let's just
sweaty
continue to
down
be.
there. I mean, I'd get along fine with all the regulars, but yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Listen, Michael, this was a lot of fun. I think we can continue this manner on a lot of different things if we really wanted to go down there. I'm pretty sure, there's this evil part of Michael who would say the Beatles are overrated or something like that. Calm down, people. We're not going to go there because I don't want to, because then I
That's
would have
like
to break
attaching
down each
that
individual,
that's
you know,
attacking somebody's religion right there. I don't know if I want to go that far.
right? That's one where, like, if I were to say something that, like that damning, I need to like have an arsenal backup because people will, how dare you? Well, okay, here's all my reasons. You got to have you know, it's like saying the Pope's hat shouldn't be white. Okay, well, here's 8 billion reasons for it. You can't fight something that's been tradition forever unless you really got some backing for it.
What color should it be when it comes to little boy?
Jesus Christ. I don't know, but I'm not going to go into that one. We can go deep on all these things.
What? I didn't say that. What? I didn't say that, Joe.
Listen, people out there, let's take to the comments. All right. You see what's out there, what we've got posted. Are we idiots? Is everything we said overrated? Fucking, are we spot on with most of these things? What else is overrated? Let's piss some people off. There are a lot of things out there that we could keep going on. We try to keep them a little bit cheeky and fun with this one, because I could have went with bourbon, which I'm not going to because I love bourbon, but there are a lot of things you can go out there and say is overrated. Back in the 90s, you couldn't say Bud Light was overrated. People would kill you. Nowadays, everyone would agree with you,
Yeah.
right?
Which actually
But
was
that's
one
what
of my
it's.
topics today was gonna be IPA. Is it overrated?
Ooh, like skunky ass beer. Oh, I don't know how some
Yeah,
people drink that sour stuff. It's like someone gave me a beer once, and I thought I literally poured vomit in my mouth. I was like, "Oh, this is the most disgusting thing in the world. How do you drink this?" They're like,
yeah,
"Oh my god."
dude, mine's got like 5,000 triple hops. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing out there that you cannot say is overrated without getting punched in the throat is like coffee.
Yeah,
Sorry, coffee's just perfect. If you disagree, you're
even
wrong.
even bad coffee is still coffee.
Exactly. It's
It's
still
kind of like
better than no
pizza.
coffee.
It's still pizza. I've had some really bad pizza, but I still ate that shit.
Better than no pizza. All right, we've gone long, long, long today, Michael, which I love. It's great. I think this is fun. Next week, let's do another different time. We'll mix it up a little bit. We'll see what's going on in life. There's a lot of things going on.
All
And
right.
let's get into something. We'll get into something a little bit heavier next week. I don't know
All
what
right,
yet,
cool.
but let's find a nice topic that'll enrage one of us.
Good luck with that. We're too like-minded, it seems. We're trying.
Oh, there's plenty of things. If worst case, we'll find someone to bring in on it, and that person will enrage us. There's always somebody that can piss you off. Now we're talking. All right, I will catch you next week. We'll talk soon
All right, love you.
and stay happy. Love you all. Remember, just because you think you're right, you're probably wrong. Don't forget about the other side. Right. Bye.